In this video, we'll continue with the question paper from Mpumalanga Department of Education, June 2023. So in this time, we're going to look at question 4, which is about functions. Okay, the following sketch shows the graph of x squared plus bx plus c, which is this parabola graph, and g of x, which is ax plus q, which is this straight line. Normally, a parabola graph will be presented as y is equal to mx plus c. This is exactly the same thing, where a is equal to m and then q equal to c. Okay, then we also told that the graph of f intersect the x-axis at -2 and 0. So -2 and 0 there will be our x-intercept. So x-intercept is -2 and 0, which is the coordinate of a, and b, which we are not given the coordinates. And then c is the y-intercept of both f and g. And we're also given the axis of symmetry, which is x equal to 1. So let's look at the questions. The first question, determine the coordinates of b. They want the coordinates of b. So this is quite simple because we already know the coordinates of a. We're looking for the coordinates of b. This axis of symmetry will be our midpoint. So I can just use the midpoint and say x midpoint is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2. X midpoint is 1, x1 is -2, x2 over 2. Multiply by 2, it's 2 equal to -2 plus x2. Transpose, you get 4 equal to x2. Therefore, the coordinates of b will be 4 and 0. And then determine the equation, that is 4.1.2. Determine the equation of f in the form of y equal to x squared plus bx plus c. So the fact that there is no coefficient of x squared here, there's no a, it means that our a is 1. So therefore, we're going to write this as, if you know the 2x-intercept, you're just going to write y is equal to a x minus x1, x minus x2. And as I said, a is 1, so we just have x minus -2, and then x minus 4, which is x plus 2, and then x minus 4. If you multiply this out, you get y is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 2x, which is minus 2x, and then minus 8. So that is the equation of f in that form. So b is -2 and c is 8. Then the next question, determine the values of a and q. A and q, those are the values in this straight line graph. So that is question 4.1.3. So a is the gradient. And then we can quickly work out the coordinates of c, because you can see that c is the y-intercept of the parabola. So if you put a 0 as x, then that is 0, that's 0. Then you get -8. So the coordinates of c will be 0, -8. Okay, then you will have the gradient to get a, so that will be y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And then I can use this as y2, that is y1. So it's 0 minus -8, -8 over x2, that is 4 minus 0. So that's 4 minus 0, which will give us a 2. And then the value of q is quite simply, the value is the same as value of c here. And then c, we know that is the y-intercept. So we know the y-intercept today is -8. So that is -8. So that's the end of that question. Next question, 4.1.4. Determine the coordinates of the turning point of F. So we have the equation of F, but you already know the x of the turning point, which is 1. So I just substitute 1 into this equation. So I will say the coordinates so far it's 1, x is 1, we are looking for y. So y is going to be 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8, which will give us negative 9. So the coordinates of the turning point is negative 1, it's 1 and negative 9. Okay, we are done with that question. Next question, 4.2. M is the reflection of the coordinate of the reflection of C in the axis of C mate. Write down the coordinates of M. So we are reflecting C in the axis of C mate. What are the coordinates of M? Can just use the midpoint again. So 4.2. So it's x midpoint x1 x2 over 2. X midpoint again it's 1 equal to x1 is what? Is 0 plus x2 over 2 multiplied by 2. 2 is equal to x2. So therefore the coordinates of M will be y is still the same, x is 2, y is still negative 8. So that will be 2 and negative 8. Okay, the next question. For which values of x is f of x above g of x? Okay, let me just highlight the graphs. So that's f of x. So basically we're looking for the values of x where the pink graph is above the blue graph. So that will be from negative infinity until you get to this x, which is 0. So it's negative infinity up until 0. You write x element of negative infinity to 0. And where else? From this point B, which is 4 up until infinity, we have again the pink graph above the blue graph. So you say, that will be 4 to infinity. And then we are done with that question. Next question, 4.4. Write down the coordinates of the turning point of this. So basically this is a reflection. We are doing two things here. We are reflecting the graph about the x-axis. Then we're shifting the point 2 units to the right. So if you reflect about the x-axis, this turning point, which was 1 and negative 9, is going to be exactly here, which is negative 1 and positive 9 now. So that is 1 and positive 9. Basically, we are taking this whole graph and reflecting about x-axis. So it's going to look something like this. And if you are reflecting about x-axis, you change the sign of y. Y was negative 9, now it's positive 9. X is still the same. Then the next thing, what do you do? That x minus 2 means that you have to shift this graph 2 units to the right. So if we shift this point 2 units to the right, the value of x is going to add 2, so it's going to be 3, then y will remain the same. So that will be 3 and 9. So the coordinates of the turning point will be 3 and positive 9. Last question. N is a point on the x-axis and T is a point on F such that Tn is perpendicular to the x-axis. And Tn intersect G at point P. Calculate the maximum length of TP. So this is P, that is T. Basically, we are looking for the maximum length of TP. And we know that P is on the blue graph, is on the straight line graph, and T is on the parabola graph. So we're just going to say the straight line minus parabola graph. So the straight line, we know equation is y equal to From there, it was ax plus q, but remember we got a as 2 and q as negative 8. So we have these two graphs, y is equal to 2x minus 8, and also have y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 8 minus 2x minus 8. So 4.5, remember I said it's what? The distance between P and T is the blue graph minus the pink graph. So the blue graph is a straight line. It's 2x minus 8 minus, put a bracket because you're separating more than one term. So that will be x squared minus 2x minus 8. Simplify, it's 2x minus 8 minus x squared plus 2x and then plus 8. So that is the distance between PT. So that's the distance TP. So TP is equal to 8 and 8 will cancel, 8 and negative 8 will cancel. Then you are left with what? I'll write this in standard form. You're left with negative x squared plus 4x. Then because they are talking about the maximum length, maximum and minimum, first derivative equal to 0. Then we solve for x. So we'll say TP prime is equal to minus 2x plus 4. Then you make that equal to 0. We have minus 2x plus 4 equal to 0. Then you solve for x. X is equal to 2. Then we substitute this 2 into the equation for TP to get the maximum length. So it's going to be TP at maximum. We're going to put a 2 there. So that will be negative 2 squared plus 4 times 2. Then negative 2 squared, that is negative 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So the maximum length will be 4 units. So that's the end of that question. Thanks for watching.